I've been thinking a lot about innocence lately, how it's like a little hummingbird that can be scared away in a single moment, and how once it's gone forever. The idea of innocence is why I keep coming back to the films that let you see the world through a child's eyes. Kids have an unshakable, unbreakable clarity. They don't get lost in politics, strategy, or all the other grown-up reasons we use to allow ourselves to explain away the bad things that happen in the world. Children just know when something deep down is wrong. Many of you will have read the Antoine de Saint-Exupéry novel, The Little Prince. The book starts with a dedication to Antoine's best friend, Leon Worth. It goes like this. All grown-ups were children once, although few of them remember it. That was written in 1944, which of course was not a good year for humanity, not a good year for the world. It is a year, as well as the years preceding it, in which there was a loss of innocence for children at a scale we can't really comprehend. It was a year in which many children had to grow up before they should have. Of course, we have many pockets of the planet today where children are still being forced to reconcile with adult responsibility or even trauma that no adult can process or comprehend. But between 1939 and 1945, 55 million civilians were killed. That is a number so astronomical that I don't think we really have the cognitive faculty to process it. I've been watching a lot of movies lately from the perspective of children. And I think writing from the perspective of a child is a very powerful storytelling technique because children have a good sense of justice, of right and wrong, and perhaps don't complicate moral decisions the way adults do. They're not calculating. They don't think in utilitarian terms. They don't think, well, we have to wipe out these people so that those people don't wipe out those other people. If you ask a child, should we kill those people? They'll say, no, killing is bad. French director François Truffaut once said, there is no such thing as an anti-war film because war is inherently thrilling. But I disagree when the film is through the eyes of a child. It's just impossible to enjoy on-screen violence when filtered through the lens of the only demographic in the world that almost every single human on Earth has a natural inclination to protect. And so I think that war movies should be compulsory viewing, but I don't mean Saving Private Ryan or Platoon or The Thin Red Line, although nothing against those movies. But we should make time to experience the world through art in which there are no confounding, complicating factors like they had it coming or it's for the greater good. These factors are stripped away again when a film is through the eyes of a child. I mean, just by coincidence, I happened to watch, 3 of these films in a row. I watched Come and See, Grave of the Fireflies, and City of God. And I just want to give a wholehearted spoiler warning for each of these, although I won't go into too much specific detail. I will talk about the major themes. Come and See is a movie from the perspective of a little Belarusian boy who gets caught up in this mess of Nazi and Ukrainian nationalists slowly making their way through rural villages in Belarus and systematically slaughtering everyone. And every time the kid witnesses something traumatic, and when I say traumatic, I mean traumatic, at a scale unlike anything I've ever seen in my life, the director does this close-up shot of his face. And the genius of the film is that every time they cut to his face, there's more lines in his brow. He starts to wrinkle. Essentially, he starts to age. Although the whole movie takes place over 48 hours and this child is 12 years old, by the end, he looks like an old, withered man. The entire movie is actually on YouTube for free. And I believe that if we showed this movie in schools, the world would be in a very different place. This movie is relentless, it pulls no punches, and will leave you feeling exhausted. And I think that's a good thing, but it's not a fun thing and it's not pretty. Which doesn't mean we shouldn't watch it, it just means that you have to be in the right space to watch it, because 150 odd minutes of unrelenting genocide is not the most enjoyable Saturday night. I think a more palatable version of this kind of movie is Grave of the Fireflies, which is a Studio Ghibli film about, 2 children trying to survive the firebombing of Japan towards the end of World War II. Really, it's set at the same time as Come and See, and I think that just makes this morbid, special connection between them. And I mean, I guess between children of that time. There were so many children on different corners of the world, in the same minute, on the same calendar day, experiencing different flavors of incomprehensible horror. Grave of the Fireflies is really just as relentless a film as Come and See, except it differs in that it's visually stunning, as all Studio Ghibli films are. So at least you have some kind of reprieve from the sheer savagery, because you breathe and flow with the dancing flames, and raining ash in a sort of trance in order to find moments of peace. City of God, the third film I watched, is about gang wars in the slums of Rio de Janeiro in the 60s and 70s, and it's equally as brutal a story, but it's told a la a mob film. It's a genre film. It's sort of like Goodfellas set in a favela. And that's Carrot. Carrot didn't like killing, he liked business. He was the kind of guy who could sell bullets to both sides. You know, that kind of stuff. So it's just a very palatable format. But it's really as dark as any of the other films in terms of messaging. Just watching kid after kid get caught in the crossfire of gang violence makes you feel something visceral, no matter how gunslinging Hollywood mafia the editing and narration is. So I guess my point is, when you see war through the eyes of a child, all the excuses fall away. There's no glory, no politics, no moral calculus about the greater good. There's just horror. Children don't rationalize killing. They haven't learned how. They see something bad and call it bad. And that's why I think art that shows war and violence from a child's perspective should be what we force ourselves to revisit as adults, and what we should show our kids so that they don't become cold, calculating adults. I think that's why Anne Frank's diary is such an important text, as is Pan's Labyrinth, as is even Pink Floyd's song Another Brick in the Wall, you know, with the chorus of angry, disillusioned children. Because you can't hide behind strategy or ideology or revenge or even justice when the camera or the pen or the microphone is sitting in front of someone who hasn't yet learned how to lie to themselves about what's going on and why their actions are okay. They're not lying to themselves about what they're seeing. Anyway, that's what I've been thinking about lately.